The first room is a Midwestern arena. Red hats bob like buoys in a restless sea. The second is Beijing's Great Hall. Crimson drapes hang still as a stage curtain. In one, a man promises to make America great again. In the other, a leader invokes the Chinese dream of national rejuvenation. Different languages, different regimes, yet the choreography rhymes. A country in crisis, a single figure offering restoration. A crowd convinced the redemption will be swift and total. This is China Briefed. Subscribe for clear, concise, bias-free signals on China's economy, policy, and global trends. Today, we look at the growing and surprising similarities between Trump's America and Xi's China, and what they reveal about how power works.
We're going to keep it better than ever before.
复兴的中国梦一定能够实现。
This is not the story of identical systems. Trump's America and Xi's China differ in structure, values, and law. But lately, their methods have grown strangely familiar. Power concentrates around one person. Security becomes the master key. Information is treated like a battlefield. The economy is a fortress wall. The details differ, but the silhouette is the same. Politics that center the leader, distrust pluralism, and insist the nation is under siege. In 2018, China's National People's Congress erased presidential term limits. That cleared a path for Xi Jinping to rule indefinitely. It was a blunt message about where authority truly sits. Party leadership and national rejuvenation moved from slogans into the state's wiring. The line between party and government nearly disappeared. In the US, the formal guardrails still stand, but the pull toward personal power has grown. In the case, Trump versus United States in 2024, the Supreme Court granted absolute criminal immunity for a president's conclusive and preclusive acts, and presumptive immunity for other official acts. Unofficial acts were excluded, but the center of gravity shifted. Around that shift came a movement to bend government machinery to one leader's will. The Heritage Foundation's Project 2025 says it openly. Personnel is policy. Fill the government with loyalists. Remove dissenters from policy roles. Revised Schedule F rules would make many civil servants at-will employees, easier to fire, easier to replace. It's not just HR, it's politics by other means. Xi rewrote the rules to climb step by step. Trumpism proposes to reshape the people who apply the rules. Different technique, similar destination, personal control over neutral institutions. In March 2024, Hong Kong passed Article 23. It widened national security to include sedition, treason, and external interference. Police gained sweeping powers to act fast and shut down dissent. On the mainland, the 2023 expansion of the anti-espionage law put new pressure on consulting and due diligence firms. The definition of espionage expanded. Even routine corporate fact-finding could now be risky. It chills inquiry, which is the point. In the US, Trump's movement takes a different route. It pushes for mass deportation drives, framed as emergency law and order. It promises retribution against enemies. It flirts with the language of exception, dictator for a day to close the border and drill. Xi codifies and centralizes security power. Trump escalates through rhetoric and loyal personnel. Both use security as a master narrative that dissolves resistance. Whether the target is a newsroom in Hong Kong or a skeptical agency branch in Washington, the effect is the same. China's information system is a lattice work. Technical blocks at the border, legal duties inside, and a culture of caution over it all. The Great Firewall is the hardware. The operating system is licensing, liability, and the knowledge that some questions can end your career. In 2023, Freedom House described a system where gateways are state-controlled. Cross-border data can be slowed or cut at will. With AI models, Beijing tests for political obedience before release. It is hard-coding red lines into software. America has no wall. So the fight moved to the feed. When Trump called the press the enemy of the people, he didn't ban them. He made them tribal. Facts became partisan property. Republicans and Democrats now trust entirely different news sources. Beijing compels alignment. Trump's movement manufactures it. The goal is the same. Make the leader's version of reality not just plausible, but inevitable. Beijing's industrial policy is explicit. Made in China, 2025 set targets, subsidies, and pressure on firms to serve national goals. When private champions moved too fast or spoke too loudly, regulators stepped in. Ant Group's $37 billion IPO was suspended. Alibaba paid a record antitrust fine. When Washington cut off advanced chips, Beijing struck back. It restricted exports of gallium, germanium, and later graphite. Supply chains became weapons. Trumpism's mirror image is tariff-first nationalism. The proposal, a universal 10% tariff on all imports, higher for China. Whatever you think of the economics, the politics are clear. Punish adversaries, reward allies, signal that the nation protects its own, even at the cash register. Both redefine markets as arenas of geopolitical muscle, and the cost falls on ordinary producers. A Shanghai startup blindsided by an IPO halt. A Wisconsin manufacturer adjusting after a sudden tariff. A Korean EV maker scrambling when graphite exports are restricted. It's not just policy, it's the speed of change. National revival needs a wound. Xi invokes a century of humiliation to frame China's rise as justice long delayed. Trump speaks of American carnage, framing US decline as elite betrayal. In both cases, the past is a weight, and the leader the pulley. Grievance becomes a governing theory. Opponents become existential threats. The results are visible. In Xinjiang, a UN report in 2022 cited credible evidence of rights violations that may be crimes against humanity. In Hong Kong, a once free press and civic space have been compressed to fit state tolerance. In the US, attacks on neutral institutions, from civil service to press, have deepened a crisis of trust. When half the public sees the referee as the enemy, even a fair win looks rigged. Picture a parts factory in Ohio, an assembly line in Guangdong. The managers aren't debating Montesquieu. They're dealing with payroll, procurement, next month's orders, but both work in a political climate where rules can change overnight. A tariff here, a new security designation there, a banned dataset, a blacklisted supplier. The government is closer to the elbow. Planning horizons shrink. Voices get quieter. That's what convergence looks like. Not shared ideology, shared method. Personalized power, securitized dissent, harden the borders of information and trade. Sell the program as national salvation. One does it through party and law. The other through courts, rhetoric, loyalists, and a media ecosystem trained to doubt everything else. The answer isn't fashionable. Institutions that refuse to be props. Courts that hold everyone to the same limits, including presidents. Businesses that demand predictable rules instead of political favors. A press that fact-checks even its friends. Voters who value boring government because boring is competent. If we miss the similarity, we'll keep arguing ideology while the method wins. Xi's China is building a single leader system, enforced by security law, censorship, and industrial control. Trumpism is building a single leader movement that seeks to bend a constitutional state toward personal rule. Neither is guaranteed to win, but both bet that fear, grievance, and speed can beat scrutiny, pluralism, and time. Democracies rarely die in a gunshot. They fade in a series of naps. Autocracies don't announce themselves, and they gather step by step. Those two rooms, the arena and the hall, remind us spectacle is not the sideshow. It is the show. If you want a test for the next year, it's simple. When a leader says, "Trust me," more than the rules, when security becomes the answer to questions no one asked, when the press is the problem and tariffs or export bans are the cure for every ache. Assume the mirror is back, then break it. That's today's China Briefed. If this helped you make sense of China's direction, like, share, and subscribe. Got a question or topic you want us to decode? Drop it in the comments. Stay briefed, stay ahead.